Hi, we're Interboro. I'm Georgine Theodore.
I'm Tobias Armborst.
I'm Daniel Dioka.
And we're sitting here in Queens where you can hear all the sounds of the city.
This is holding pattern, and we're actually sitting here in what we call a tree room that's part of PS1's courtyard. We really like Queens, and we walked around in Long Island City and talked to a lot of groups in the neighborhoods.
So we're standing in front of Checker Management. Right across the street is MoMA PS1, and the view from Checker Management to PS1 is mostly of this concrete wall. It's really here in a way that the idea for the project was hatched. Usually 2 cab drivers go in on 1 cab, so there's this time between 4 and 6 where the driver passes it off to the next guy. The owner, Mike, and Takis, who works here as well, made this nice little plaza for them, and so we had this idea for holding pattern. What if we tried to make matches between things that people in the neighborhood need and things that Warm Up needs?
It seemed to us like a really big waste to spend the project budget on stuff that would actually be thrown out at the end of the project's lifetime in September.
So there's going to be a ping pong table here and a chess table and also a chaise lounge and some benches.
A lot of the objects are pretty commonsensical, right? There are a lot of benches that people need, obviously, to sit outside. Stools, trees, right?
The 60 red oak trees were donated by the New York Restoration Project as part of the Million Tree Campaign. If you look over there, that's the Teamsters.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, so
You're gonna make me look shorter.
We represent building maintenance workers, railroads, public sector employees. We've been here since 1996.
We're looking to make this place a little better, make it beautiful and put trees. And that's how they say, well, we're gonna have, give out some trees and benches.
I thought it was a good thing that I think we need to have more and more trees in New York City. I think would beautify the area, do something aesthetically for local 808, but also do something for New York City and the environment.
You know,
It's just surprising how sometimes you could be close to something and never go in. Like I'm here a lot on Saturdays during the summer, and they have big concerts. But I've never actually gotten up and says, let me go in there and see what all these people do. But now we will. All things in its time.
We are building around 100 pieces of furniture for the exhibition. We designed it in a way where we only needed to use around 3 different tools, a chop box, table saw, and drill press. Most of the furniture gets put together very, very quickly, and it's held together by mainly just glue, some finishing nails, and a select, off-the-shelf hardware that we have. So everything's very cheap, extremely reliable, and allowable for exterior use. The furniture is very sculptural and abstract, but it still holds its kind of functions when you look at it. What we used as a precedence was a lot of Donald Judd pieces.
These are the pools. They're very comfortable fit for 2 people, very intimate for 3. The lifeguard stand. This is for the Long Island City Boys and Girls Club. These are the chaise lounges that we designed. They're basically a play on the Mies van der Rohe lounge chair. So the same dimensions, but sort of still made with this sort of marine grade plywood. And then we have a pipe for the sort of the pillow at the head. We don't want people to get too comfortable.
We've got to bring together a lot of volunteers from area architecture schools. It's an amazing experience, hands-on, and I think it's something that a lot of architects and architecture students don't always get. We're often just working in the conceptual area, and then when a project goes to construction, we might go out and check on it on the site, but we don't really get to work with our hands and do it ourselves. So this has been like a truly design-build project, and it's been really amazing.
The courtyard needs shading, and that's part of the program. One of the few things that are actually written in the program is that you have to provide shade.
There's basically sort of an old courtyard or an inner courtyard and an outer courtyard, so it gets pinched in the middle, almost like a musical instrument.
It was sort of like a surprise almost to find this hyperboloid shape in the model that we built.
The rope installation process was fun. We set up a cutting station in the long hallway that's about 85 feet long here. Using our engineer's form-found model, we found the exact lengths of each of the ropes. So starting on the Jackson Avenue wall, we had hardware that we put into the wall, which was basically a threaded rod with a series of nuts and washers on either side of the wall. And we made knots in the rope. We laid them out fully in the courtyard and then threaded each one through this bridge strap. And then at that point, that took forever. We had a crew up on the parapet. They threw ropes down. Those of us on the ground knotted the final ropes onto these threading ropes, and then they were lifted up to the parapet and put into place.
So what you see here is the support structure of the ropes. The way these ropes are held in place is through the ballast of the concrete blocks. The concrete blocks are at or below the snow load of the roof. Even though you're never going to see this part of the installation during warm-up, we think it's kind of a nice visualization of what actually goes on here.
You can see the mechanisms that we'll use to sort of retract and also pull out the sails.
So what I'm working on right now is the fabrication of the sails that will be up in the courtyard hanging from the ropes that are up there. It's made of polypropylene, and it is used for erosion control typically. So this can be used for landscape purposes, for erosion control afterwards as well.
Holding pattern is really, on the one hand, about this recycling, about reusing things, but it's really about setting a stage for interactions that can happen here in the courtyard over the course of the summer.
Typically, there's the warm-up party, which happens on Saturday. On Sundays, and at a couple other points during the week, we're going to be doing some of our own programming. Queen's Library, for example, they're going to do readings for kids on our stage. We're working with the Graffiti Museum, the 5 Points across the street, to do breakdancing workshops. The New York Irish Center down the street is going to do some Irish step dancing workshops. Composting workshops with the Western Queens Compost Initiative, bike repair workshops with Recycle a Bicycle, a dance party for senior citizens with the Ravenswood Senior Center and the Ravenswood Nork and possibly the Queensbridge houses. Apparently there's like an underground network of senior citizen DJs. And what's funny is it's going to have to be right in the middle of the afternoon on a weekday because that's when they have their buses, and I guess that's when they like to party. It's really about making this place as welcoming as possible.
We worked with the graphic designer's Thumb, and we with them designed a logo for Holding Pattern, and all the pieces have it branded into the wood. So we hope that like when you walk around the neighborhood 5 years from now, you'll see these little pieces of furniture scattered around, sort of dispersed from their original home here out into the neighborhood.